Welcome back. Welcome back. Our last guest here on the show is Evelyn Stewart, and you are an author.
Yes, I am.
Now, is this your first go-round as an author?
No, I've actually written 4 books.
Written 4 books?
It's all based on the same story.
On the 4 books on the same story?
Yeah, because I don't know if you want to hear this or not, but my books was stolen by so-called publishers.
Okay.
And I never got a dime.
So basically, you wrote a story.
I wrote a story.
You stole it. You wrote it again. They stole it again.
Stole it again.
Stole it 3 times. Now you're getting smart, and this one's not stolen.
This one's not stolen.
Okay. So it's basically the same story.
It's about it, and this is a message I really need to get out. It's about the ISBN numbers, your barcode number.
Okay.
And when I called them about publishing the book, they jumped at it, and they liked the book, and God only knows how many books they've sold.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the premise of the book? What's the book behind closed doors?
It's about domestic violence.
Okay.
It's actually the autobiography of my life, and I went through 32 years of abuse before I ever could get out of it.
Mm. And people think it's easy just to walk away.
No, it's not easy.
Yeah.
When you put your whole life into it and you work and you lose, I lost everything.
You feel like you got to keep the family together.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah.
And this, in my case, it was a fear. I was scared to death of him, and I knew he would have killed me.
Yeah.
You know, because he told me that he'd take me out and shoot me down.
Sure, yeah.
Like a mad dog, you know, if I ever left him.
And I'm sure you want to get the message out to people so they don't get in that situation, or if they're in that situation, how they can escape.
Yeah, when I started...
give tips and techniques on how to get out of that situation.
Excuse me, when I started writing it, I actually started writing it for therapy.
For yourself?
For myself. And my son had, him and my daughter both, they just insisted that I write the story. And so it just took me years because I kept saying, the only thing I ever argued with God with, is I can't do this. It's just too painful. I cannot, I can't do it. And the more I said I can't, the more it just, I couldn't put it down. I couldn't leave it alone. And finally got to where I was just about possessed with it, to try to get it out, because I only had a 7th grade education.
Yeah.
But I had along the way, I had educated myself, the best that I could, because I didn't want to go around in ignorance. And I grew up in my parents was very godly people. I'm not going to say religious, because they believed in God and every word that come out of the Bible. And I'm the youngest of 12 children. And I never ever heard my parents even scold one another, let alone argue. They talked a lot. They talked at night when I'd go to bed. I can remember for years in my young childhood, I'd go to sleep listening to them talk about today, what happened today. And
I bet that was comforting.
Yeah. Well, I was born in 27, and the banks crashed in 29. So I know all about the
Depression era.
Yeah, the Depression years, yeah. And the slaves, the ex-slaves. Mm-hmm. My grandfather, he had a good reputation, and when Abraham Lincoln, when he freed the slaves, they didn't have nowhere to go, the ones that had bad slave masters. They didn't have nowhere to go, so they found my grandfather, and they came to him, and they asked him, could they work with him, because all they had was their clothes on their back. Mm-hmm. And so he took them in, and they worked with him, and then after my grandfather became 87, then he was too old to carry on with the farming. So he handed them down to my father. So I grew up with a black nanny. And being the 12th child, my siblings was always jealous of me, because they said
Now, do you include this story in the book?
I think I did.
It's in the book. Okay, it is.
I wrote so much, so many short
Is the
stories.
book available locally, or is it
Yeah.
at Hastings or anything, or where can people get a copy of this?
For me.
Just from you, so it's not available.
No, you can get it
locally?
from Amazon.com.
Oh, Amazon.com.
And you
Okay.
can get it from Barnes & Noble.
All
Yeah.
right.
I haven't talked to Hastings yet, but I'm in complete charge of the book
Okay.
right
Good for you.
now.
And the book, when they go onto Amazon or someplace, it's called Behind Closed Doors.
Behind closed doors.
Are there any other books named that?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so we need to make sure that it's by your
It's
author.
by Evelyn Stewart.
Evelyn Stewart.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, Scott's mother edited my first book that I wrote.
Oh, okay.
People love this book. They tell me that they cannot put it down. There's one right there, Janie will tell you, and Brother Ron. He said that his wife read it to him, but then when he sat down and started reading it for himself, that's when it grabbed him, and he read it.
Well, interesting. Well, we're always happy to have local authors on the show, and we hate that you had to go through all this, but it sounds like you're in control of your property.
Yeah, I am
And,
now.
if you'd like, I have not read the book, but we have testimonies here of people that enjoyed the book. If you're
Well,
interested,
I wrote a book for the.
okay. Well, Sandy will read it, and then she'll let me have it because she's a reader.
I'm the
It'll take
reader.
me twice as long to read it than it will her.
Yeah, they're 372 pages.
Okay. And if you're interested in the book, go to Amazon or you go to Barnes & Noble online and look for
Or they
Behind
can,
Closed Doors. Go ahead.
Excuse me, they can send a check or money order.
Okay.
I have a PayPal account to EFS Publishing.
EFS, that would be Evelyn Stewart
Publishing.
EFS.
Yes. I published
Okay.
it myself.
And then what price point is the book at?
And the address is 412 Cooper Street, Mountain Home,
Okay.
Arkansas.
And how much is the book?
$23.95.
$23.95.
Yeah.
Not nearly enough. Anyway, we'd like to thank you for coming on and for bringing us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was kind of worried about my voice. I didn't know how my voice was going to do. I went through 6 real hard years. And September of '06, I went to the doctor for a regular checkup, Dr. Lincoln. And I go in, and I'm thinking, I feel the best today I've felt in a long time. Mm-hmm. So I go in his office, and this male nurse comes in and checks my blood pressure, and he kept looking at it. Then he checked it again, and I thought, I've never had high blood pressure. What's the matter here? So then he says, I got to get the other nurse to come and check it. Mm-hmm. So the other nurse came and checked it. She did the same thing. Dr. Lincoln come in, and he kept checking it. And the next thing I know, I was in the IC unit over at Baxter.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my goodness.
Baxter Hospital.
So it's a high blood pressure?
Well, at that time, they told my daughter later that at that time when they checked it, it was 293 over 43.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
But once they got me into the hospital, they found out that 2 of the valves of my heart was not getting any blood.
Oh.
So the next day they put in a pacemaker, and my heart was beating 15 beats a minute.
A minute. That's
when they
barely.
put it in.
That's barely keeping you alive.
And the doctor was nervous, and then in putting the pacemaker in, he punctured my heart.
We'd like to thank everybody for joining us. We're totally out of time. We'll continue this conversation after you leave. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next time. So what they do?
They